This is why ancient Egypt fell. The tale of ancient Egypt is one of marvel, mystery, and grandeur, a civilization that spanned thousands of years, crafting architectural wonders and advancing human thought in ways that still echo today. And yet it fell. How could a society so powerful, so sophisticated, and so revered crumble into the sands of history? The answer, as it turns out, is a tale woven with threads of ambition, conflict, natural disaster, and the unrelenting march of time. A kingdom divided at its peak, ancient Egypt was a beacon of unity under the pharaohs, divinely appointed rulers who commanded not just the allegiance of their people, but the very forces of nature, or so it was believed. But no kingdom stays united forever. Egypt's fall began, ironically, with its greatest strength, centralization. The immense power of the pharaohs made them gods in the eyes of their people, but when that power faltered, chaos erupted. The old kingdom collapsed in what historians call the First Intermediate Period, a time of disunity, famine, and local warlords vying for control. Imagine for a moment the awe-inspiring pyramids of Giza standing tall against the horizon, now surrounded by a land thrown into disorder. The pharaoh's authority was no longer absolute, and rival factions sought to fill the power vacuum. The rich Nile Delta, which once flowed with prosperity, now became the site of political fragmentation. Egypt owed its life to the Nile, but that same Nile had a temper. The river that fed the land could also starve it. Periods of irregular flooding wreaked havoc on agriculture, the backbone of Egyptian society. When the floods were too low, famine stalked the land, and when too high, it destroyed crops and infrastructure. These natural disasters weren't just an inconvenience, they were existential threats. Compounding this, climate shifts in the region turned once fertile lands into arid stretches of desert. The gradual desiccation of the Sahara pushed populations toward the Nile Valley, straining resources and stoking conflict. Egypt's survival was tied to the whims of a river and the heavens, and when they turned against the kingdom, the cracks began to show. Foreign invaders and internal weakness, no empire is safe from the ambitions of others. Egypt, with its gold, grain, and grandeur, was a tempting prize for outsiders. The Hyksos invasion during the Second Intermediate Period is a prime example. A foreign people with superior technology, including chariots and advanced weapons, swept into the Nile Delta, challenging Egyptian dominance. Even after the Hyksos were expelled and the new kingdom arose, Egypt faced constant threats from its neighbors. The Hittites, Nubians, Assyrians, and later the Persians all sought to carve out a piece of the kingdom. Egypt's military, once unmatched, struggled to keep up with the evolving tactics and technologies of these external foes. But not all Egypt's enemies came from beyond its borders. Corruption and complacency took root within. Priests of the Amun cult amassed wealth and power, sometimes rivaling the pharaohs themselves. This division of authority further weakened the state, creating internal rivalries that sapped Egypt's strength. Ancient Egypt was once a hub of innovation, leading the world in medicine, engineering, and astronomy. But over time, this creative spirit waned. The kingdom grew conservative, clinging to its past rather than adapting to the future. While other civilizations embraced new tools and ideas, Egypt remained ensnared by tradition. Its once mighty economy faltered, and the grandeur of its monuments gave way to mediocrity. The arrival of Alexander the Great marked the beginning of the end. In 332 BCE, the Macedonian conqueror swept into Egypt, claiming it as part of his vast empire. Though the Ptolemaic dynasty that followed retained a semblance of Egyptian culture, the soul of the kingdom was irrevocably changed. Egypt became a province of larger empires, its autonomy reduced to a memory, a legacy in the sand. So why did ancient Egypt fall? It wasn't one thing, it was everything. A perfect storm of political turmoil, environmental catastrophe, foreign invasion, and cultural stagnation. What makes this story so compelling isn't just the fall, but the resilience that preceded it. Despite the challenges, Egypt endured for millennia, longer than any other civilization in history. The ruins of temples and pyramids stand today as monuments not only to the achievements of this great civilization, but also to its struggles. The fall of ancient Egypt is a reminder that even the mightiest empires are vulnerable. But it's also a testament to the enduring legacy of a people who, even in decline, refused to be forgotten. And so the story of ancient Egypt isn't just about why it fell, it's about why it rose again and again, each time leaving an indelible mark on the fabric of humanity. Today, we walk in the shadows of their greatness, inspired by their ambition and cautioned by their downfall.